Look back in time and you'll see that our first responders wore different uniforms and went by different names back then.
The equivalent of today's fire and police and paramedic, the surfmen of the U.S. Life-Saving Service, and they were the keepers of the U.S. Lighthouse Board. Guess who is here? Yes, it is Jim Duffy, Secrets of the Eastern Shore author, to share the story of one of these keepers, a Mr. Charles Sterling.
Yes.
Tell us about Mr. Sterling.
The story I want to tell about Mr. Sterling is like just about the unfathomable lengths people go to in response to an emergency, like our first responders today, except this was in 1910.
Okay.
He is the keeper on the Tangier Sound Lighthouse, which is just south of Tangier Island.
Okay.
It is a terrible nor'easter kind of night. Everything, the wind, the waves, everything is a complete mess. He goes out on the deck at the lighthouse, and indeed, he sees a boat in trouble.
In the storm?
In the storm.
Okay.
So he sees the mast of the sailboat has broken off, and on the stump of the mast, they are flying an emergency flag saying, "Come, please help us." But Mr. Sterling is in a hopeless situation. He's one person. All he's got is a little oar-powered dory on the lighthouse.
Okay.
The seas, if he went into the sea in that dory, either he's not going to move or he's going to drown. One of the two. He's not going to be able to get there. So there's nothing he can do. He's got no radio. It's 1910.
Right.
He's got nothing. But he can't just sit there and watch those people.
Needs to do something.
So he gets rope. He gets a lantern. And this is one of those screw pile lighthouses, right? So they have the deck on the bottom, and then they have a little widow's walk on the top.
Yes.
Right where the light is.
Right.
So he gets up on that widow's walk, climbs up there, and then he takes the lantern, and he starts waving the lantern over his head. And he does this for 2 minutes. He does it for 10 minutes. He does it for more than 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
He's just lashing himself to the lighthouse, and he's waving it. This is a 1 in a billion chance. He's hoping that somebody out there is going to look at the Tangier Sound Lighthouse and go, "That's not quite right.
That ain't right.
There's something weird going on at Tangier Sound Lighthouse." His 1 in a million bet paid off all those 2 hours up there because a Captain Crockett, it's a little unclear from the newspaper stories whether he was on Tangier Island or on the mainland, but a Captain Crockett got on a much bigger boat and came out, saved the 3 people on that little sailboat, and went back.
Wow. That's an incredible story.
A sterling character.
A
right?
sterling.
I thought you beat me to that one.
Lashed himself to the lighthouse.
Yeah. So do we know anything else about Mr. Sterling?
Yeah, so he was on at least 2 other lighthouses, the Hog Island Lighthouse. He seems like a super interesting guy. He wrote a 40-page little booklet about the nature and culture of Hog Island from his time on there. And he was also over on the western shore. He was on a place called Craney Island Lighthouse, and he pulled the same trick. A steamboat ran into another boat out there one night. It was a clear night. It was just dark. They ran into each other in the darkness. And there's 280 people on board the steamboat, so he can't save them in his little boat either.
Right, yeah.
So this time, in order to get attention to himself, it's a clear night, he just rings the fog bell over and over and over again. Rings the bell, rings the bell, rings the bell when there's no fog. And sure enough, another steamboat captain was like, "What is up with that?" And went off course and cruised over, and they were able to rescue all 280 passengers.
How about
That
that?
is amazing.
This is a man who likes long shots, and
he wins.
they came through for him.
And
Absolutely.
They came through for him.
Secrets of the Eastern Shore author Jim Duffy, thank you. See you next week.
Yep.